Okay, just to recap on some of the things that we have learned so far. We know that the thumb plus our first finger is B. We know that thumb plus first finger plus second finger is A. We know that thumb plus 1, 2, and 3 is G. So we are going to talk today about notes C and D. And I'm not talking about low C, down below the staff, and I'm not talking about the D we've already learned, which was 6 fingers, low D. Now we're looking at high C, which is in the third space, and high D, which is in the fourth line. Every good boy does, right? So these are kind of a little tricky because of the way that we use some fingers and not others. For example, G, gone. We don't need anything to do with this third finger. All we're using is 1, 2, and thumb. And actually, we're not even going to use 1 at all, so we'll just get rid of that. And get rid of that. And get rid of that. And now we've got thumb plus our second finger. And that is high C. And it sounds like this. Now, what happens when I go from B to high C? It can be really tricky. So I'm going to go from one finger to C, high C, with taking my first finger off, and then one finger to first finger off. So it's like going, having 1 to 2 to 1 to 2. How do you play D, do you ask then? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my thumb hole. And I'm just going to leave my second finger on. And when I leave that second finger on and I take away my thumb, that's how I get D. So now I'm going to play for you C again, which has the thumb hole. So now it's thumb hole and second finger for C. And I'm just going to lift my thumb away and keep my middle finger on that second hole and play D. All right. What is this going to look like? Let me show you. I'm going to flip it around so you can see me. C and D can be kind of tricky to visualize just by looking at a screen with some red markers covering the hole, right? So I've got my recorder, and this is my left hand. And I'm going to put one finger down for B with my thumb. Ooh, there we go. 2 fingers down with my thumb is A. Right? And I don't have to worry anything about G. So in order to play C, all I have to do is get rid of my first finger. So now my thumb hole is covered, my second finger is covering the second hole, and that gives me the note C. Then if I want to play B again, here's what I have to do. I have to put my first finger down, and my second finger needs to leave. There's B. Going back to C, I'm going to get rid of my first finger and put my second finger down. Okay, the only finger that isn't going to move during that whole process of going from B to C is your thumb. Your thumb is going to stay on there. Now when you want to play D, again, you're going to have your thumb, your first finger to play D, because this is C. You just take your thumb away, and now the only thing on your recorder should be that second finger. If I put my thumb back on, it's C. If I take my thumb away, it's D. If I were you, I would really practice going from B to C first. You're going to have to start slowly at first because your fingers are not going to want to do this motion. That's tough, right? And be on the hole, covering the holes all the way. Then practice going from C to D. That's not as easy as you think either because your thumb has been so used to being on the recorder for every other pitch that we've learned that now taking it away is going to feel strange. Then I would try going from B to C to D. And back. And then maybe try going from other notes to C, like A. or A to D. Or maybe G to C. That one's going to be really tricky and hard to do. Or G to D. And so on. Challenge yourself. See how many notes you can master moving from that pitch up to C or up to D. I hope that looking at it on the recorder was more helpful. Again, remember C is just second finger plus your thumb on the back, and D is when you take your thumb away. C with your thumb, D without your thumb. Happy practicing.